All right, y'all, let's talk about Tyrone and Tandy. NERDSoul. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? We got hip hop and geek. We're gonna smash it together, of course, for On Screen. And we're gonna catch up because tonight we have a brand new episode of a very cool show. You may have heard of it. It's called Cloak and Dagger. And last week, the first two episodes burst on the scene, gave us a 2-hour premiere. Well, sort of 2 hours. It was like an hour and 45 minutes, but it was a 2-hour premiere, and it was really cool. I figured we should catch up, check in, see what you feel like. Let's talk about it with me, talk about it with you down in them comments, and just give this show some love because I think it is really cool the way they mix the past and the future as they're telling the story. So I'm gonna get started with their childhood, which works very well, showing the kind of hard part of their childhood and of their beginnings before they even received powers. When you had Tandy, she's kind of like, getting her dance on, but her father is completely aloof. We find out about her mother later, but we see that she's really struggling, or even if she doesn't know it yet, she's really struggling with parents that are just asleep at the wheel. And I mean, of course, that is not to make fun of what happens later in the episode, but just completely asleep at the wheel. She's not getting the love that she deserves. And it shows later, that deficiency, really plays a large part into her psyche. And I love seeing the kind of like the older version and then flashing back to the younger version in a way that doesn't seem cheesy. And the show does pretty well. Of course, I'm going to talk about when her dad is on the phone to whoever guys at Roxxon, and he's like, look, we do this, it's going to break and everything's going to be broken and stuff. You know what? There's always that guy. There's always that guy that says, hey, everyone, we need to do maintenance, or we got to upgrade this system, or we got to do something, and nobody ever listens to him. Well, this is what happened. Nobody listened to him, and that shit went down. But then you have the other side where, Tyrone is coming up. He's a young kid, and his older brother, he just, you just want to be around your older brother. And his older brother is in with some bad kids, but he's not a bad kid. Like, he's in with some other teenagers that are, into some stuff, but he's not, I don't see him as a kid that's, trying to be a criminal or trying to do, like bad things and harm other people. He's just kind of caught up with the wrong friends. And unfortunately, through, stealing this radio and, this whole rigmarole with running from the police, Tyrone sees his brother shot. And that showed really quick how far the show is really going to go. And I was just like, wow, I did not expect to see this kind of scene in front of Tyrone as a child this early. I didn't know if they were going to go there, but it informs his character and informs his family life at home much later on. And it's just, it just shows how them being in the game, them trying to rob people, or I guess being wrapped up with people that are in the game and robbing people, it just shows where, unfortunately, a lot of the wrong people end up getting the worst consequences. And one thing that I love to kind of dissect here, and I mean, you guys might not agree, but notice how they went into the water as one thing or one being or having one thing, and they came out of the water completely changed, because you got to be born in the water and the spirit. But I'm just saying, look, I'm just letting y'all know, notice they went in the water one way, the explosion happened, and they came out of the water completely different. And I do like how Tyrone reached for her without even knowing who she was or why she was or when she was, whatever. It just shows his character. He's always willing to reach out his hand, always willing to help, always willing to be there for someone, even if he doesn't know who they are. And that was great to establish this stuff early on. Another thing to establish is the family dynamic, because on Tyrone's side, you get to see a real mother's love and worry and pain and hurt and sorrow wrapped up in a statement where she says, I'm scared if you do everything perfectly, I'll still lose you. And that shows where she's coming from, where it truly worries her, because his older brother was a good kid. Like, I mean, his older brother did not deserve that. So from her, from her perspective, she's like, even if you're a good kid, even if you're, caught up with some bad stuff, but still a good kid, you can still be taken away from me. And it worries her. But then on Tandy's side, you got a mom who, she dirty, son. She dirtball. Like, homegirl stole her money, son. Like, how you gonna steal your own kid's money? You knew that wasn't your money, right? You know that ain't your money. So why you putting your hands on it? Don't touch my bag, all right? You see, I don't care where it is. You find something that ain't yours, why don't you ask? Ask. Be like, yo, whose bag is this? Don't be digging it. You knew you was wrong. The second she went in there and saw that bag, I was like, that money gone, girl. That money gone. They done sniffed that up. That money been smoked away. But these types of foundations, especially in like the first episode and stuff like that, are great to get because you know where these kids are coming from. You know the worlds they're coming from. You know the people that surround them and what informs their decisions and their character. And I gotta give props to this show because I was worried with it being on Freeform, how it was gonna be. Was it gonna be good, bad? Was I gonna be indifferent to it? And I ended up liking this show a lot. Now, before I get to the jump, I did want to get into, Tandy and her whole kind of like robbing, scheming situation where she drugs the dude. And of course, we found out he was kind of douchey and he was about to do some Me Too stuff. So I guess it's all right. But, even the guys that weren't doing that, she's drugging them, robbing them, stealing from them and all that. And especially with those tickets that she gets caught up with later, like, you see the kind of life she's fallen into, of course, being without a father and having the mother she has, life ain't been all that. But, we find out later on that these powers are, I guess, resurfacing or bursting forward because they truly have nowhere else to go. These emotions that have been pent up over years are kind of like firing off these synapses for, of course, these powers to kind of manifest. And not on Tandy's side, but Tyrone's side is straight hilarious. Because dude will just go to bed and be like, huh, what, what? Where am I? So I really love the way his power is just manifesting. Because dude will just go to sleep, minding his business, wake up butt naked somewhere. You never know what's going on. But guys, we got a bunch of stuff to also get into because I've been loving not only the first episode, but also the second. And of course, first, before we get to that, we got to let KURO Brand help us pay them bills. Oh yeah, check that link below, hat, shirts, hoodies, all that jazz. And once you get your hands on that, then come back here and cop it. So guys, how are you feeling about the first episode? Holler at me, I'm gonna holler you down in them comments. Let's talk about the first episode. But for the second, I liked seeing that the Catholic school side and kind of the social side of Tyrone's life. Because, we get the home life. We saw the basketball game, but now we get to see a little bit of his school, kind of like socialization, his upbringing, how his teammates treat him, especially when they were beating up on him and locking him in the equipment closet. So we see that he's at odds with a lot of the people that he would see as friends. Even in a situation where the young lady comes up to him and she's like, look, give me your phone because I want you to come to this party even though you're in trouble. And me and my wife went back and forth about whether, that girl, you should watch that girl. Or I was like, it's just meaningless high school stuff. But I mean, no, man, the girl might be, look, if a girl be grabbing your phone and doing stuff, just don't trust it. Don't trust it. But to stop real quick from that, I do want to talk about Officer Terminator. And that's what I named her in this episode. Because for the most part, I don't even think she had a line. Like she was just I think she had like maybe one or two lines, but most of this episode, homegirl just walks through, like she's just owning the place. And I'm like, what, is she like Officer Terminator? So that's what I'm calling her from now on. Just so y'all know, when I say Officer Terminator, I'm referring to the lady that's the officer that's walking around on crime scenes, just putting the little badge on around the neck. So I don't know what she's looking for. And I don't know what her true purpose is. And I'm kind of intrigued I kind of like a character like that, that's slinking around and not really saying much. I want to see how she plays out. Let me know what you think about her. I'm digging that. It's weird, but I dig it at the same time. I want to see how they go with her. Hopefully they'll keep her in a situation where she doesn't say much and she'll be kind of like this weird presence on set or in these films, because I think it could play out very cool when you see how she's juxtaposed between, I guess, the regular people of the show. And then, of course, real quick, I want to touch on the wedding and the drug deal, or the fallout from the drug deal. So with the wedding, I gotta give props to this show for giving Tandy a guy that wasn't a douche. We see that he honestly does care for this girl. They're into, crime, but he does have honest, genuine emotions for her. And she, of course, she's always running from things, but I like that dynamic, especially set inside of this wedding. For her to see, these two people, super happy, you get married, everybody's happy, the family's there. So for her to see that life that maybe she wants, but probably feels like she'll never have. And that is crushing and sad to see, because, you're starting to pull for her because you know the kind of life that she's had, and you're starting to want her to make it, to be okay, to rise above this crappy, cruddy life that she's been kind of dealt. So even though they stole the money and all the gifts and everything so she could kind of get out of town for this murder for that boy that came back for them tickets, which I'm on the fence for, because she did rob him, but he's also a douche. So it's tough. I don't know where I land on that. He needs to go down for the rapey stuff, because I don't know. He's doing that rapey stuff a little too easy. But she also needs to go down for robbing people, and I'm sure he is not the first person she robbed. But you see them drive away in a stolen car with stolen stuff, but somehow I still believe that connection. Like, I believe that young man cares for her, and I believe she cares for him, but there's a disconnect where I don't think she believes she deserves a happy ending. And then lastly, I want to jump on, of course, Tyrone with his kind of quest in subconsciously looking for the man who killed his brother. We see flashbacks where at least the detective or commissioner or whatever lied about the cop, knowing a cop that looked like that. He ends up waking up around these places that are leading into him. And I love how he showed up and almost didn't know what to do, because it's one of those things where you want revenge so bad, you want this person so bad, but you don't know what to do about it. You just know that you want something. Like, I'm thinking in his case, he wants something so bad, but he doesn't really know what to do once he gets that something. Like, he just knows he's angry. He wants answers. He wants justice. But he doesn't, he's still a kid, you know what I'm saying? Dude's, 15, I think they're 15, 16, something like that. So it's not like he can take down this guy, this trained police officer, with a gun. So he's trying to figure out, how to deal with that, but also kind of chasing him down. And, of course, I love him throwing the drugs in his face. So there's a lot there that I think we're gonna find out, especially with the manifestation of his powers and getting stronger. I think we're gonna find a lot of strength inside of that story as well. We have two stories here that are dovetailing into something that I think is gonna be a really good show, guys. Holla at me, I'ma holla at you. Down in them comments, let's talk Cloak and Dagger. I'm digging this. I wasn't thinking I was gonna dig it, and I'm up for it. So, guys, now that we are caught up, feeling refreshed, don't forget tonight, brand new episode of Cloak and Dagger. So, before I bounce, I'm going to tell you to hit up ThatNERDSoul.com. That's right. Check me out right there. All my videos from the oldest, newest, latest, greatest, and all that. Then hit up shop.ThatNERDSoul.com and pick yourself up a t-shirt, player. And don't forget to get one for them playettes. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, and share that NERDSoul. That's right. There's no better way that I can show people that you like what you are watching. So, LA, what up? V, what up? RVA, you got my heart. And please be good to yourselves. Please be good to each other. And remember, just because you hide under a blanket doesn't mean you get teleported somewhere else. Sometimes you just stay in the same place. Peace.